I'm Rhod Gilbert, stand-up comedian. People tell me I've got the toughest job in town, but I'm sure I'll find other things far more difficult. So I'm ditching my regular job and trying something completely different. This is my work experience. And this week, I'm a zookeeper. I had no idea how to prepare for being a zookeeper. The closest I've come to working with animals is hoovering round my mum's cat. So I set off in search of our four-legged friends. That's animals, not tables. The scent of exotic dung took me to the North Wales Mountain Zoo in Colwyn Bay, where 69 species of animal and 1 species of visiting public was waiting for me.
I'm not quite sure what to expect from a mountain zoo. A couple of goats, a climbing pig, and a goldfish that's forgotten his natural habitat. I don't know. What is a mountain zoo? See, is he talking to me? Never really saw what the big deal was about Dr. Dolittle. He can talk to the animals. Anyone can talk to animals. Hello? It's getting them to talk back. That's the tricky bit. My grandmother used to talk to cattlery. Nobody called her a doctor. Well, they did, but he just sedated her. Life goes on.
First job, find the head zookeeper. Pete was to the zoo what Keith Harris's hand was to Orville. He knew it inside out. With so many deadly animals around and so many myths about what to do in the event of an attack, finally some serious advice from an expert.
All of the staff need to know what to do if an animal escapes. Now, a Category 1 animal, which is our most dangerous, if you like, things like the chimpanzee, tiger, the procedure for that is just to hide. I know it sounds daft,
Sorry, when it said escape procedure, it's to hide.
It's to go and hide yourself away, somewhere safe.
I mean, presumably the chimps aren't going to count to 10 before they come after you.
Well,
Where are you going to hide?
Well, you've got to be calm about this. You've got to walk away.
If a tiger escapes, I'll tell you now, there's no way I'm going to be keeping calm.
Pete's one-word safety briefing hadn't filled me with confidence. It sounded like extreme hide-and-seek. But anyone with a file with zoo written on it must really know their shit. And I felt a lot safer when he gave me a tiger-resistant fleece.
I've got the uniform on. Bona fide zookeeper. Quite excited about this. A little bit nervous of a Category 1 escape, but still.
To reassure me even further, Pete had the latest in high-tech safety equipment.
It's just a referee's whistle. We use this as a call for help, basically. Could be an escaped animal. It could be that there's a fire.
Right. Yeah. That's for a small fire. Tiger's escaped. You should know that.
If a chimp or a tiger did escape, I'd just blow my whistle and tell them they were offside. I was ready for a whistle-stop tour.
What is it? A snow leopard?
Snow leopard, yeah.
It looks so strokeable.
They will mate 20, 30 times a day, but only for about three days a year.
Well, I think we've all done that. Get it over with in a batch. That's what I do.
Some people are passionate about lizards and snakes, as some people are passionate about cats. It's just the more reptile people.
It's a bit odd, isn't it?
I must be a bit odd then, because I've got these.
I'm definitely not a tortoise person. Because, see, part of the problem with being a tortoise, you can see that one's been to the toilet, and then because they're so slow, he still hasn't got away from it yet. What kind of penguins are these then, Peter?
These are Humboldt penguins, one of the rarest penguins.
Are they shivering?
Not shivering as we would know it for like the cold. Something going on, and they're just slightly nervous.
Because there's a new keeper in town.
Yeah, probably. Because, I mean, they're not going to recognise you straight away, obviously, so...
What? Don't they watch telly? That seagull up on the roof there, is he part of the zoo?
No, he should
be visiting.
Well, this is Gus, the male Andine condor.
Oh, my God.
It's a big bird, yeah.
Oh, I almost had my whistle out then.
Tamarins, which are these little South American primates.
What the hell is that? Oh, that is a little monkey person. Have you dressed them up to look like that?
No, that's it.
It looks like you've put them in little wigs and moustaches and...
Go and have a look at the spider monkeys.
God, that is a weird-looking thing, isn't it? It's quite camp, that one. He's got quite a camp run, look at that.
Males are very difficult to sex when they're all fluffy because you can't see anything.
We've all made those mistakes.
But there was more to zookeeping than looking at animals' knobs. One of the zoo's most popular shows was Chimpanzee World. Think World of Leather, but with better furniture and more knowledgeable staff. Zoe, the zoo's resident chimp whisperer, usually did the shows and introduced me to everyone.
So this is Grote at the feeding chute at the moment here. We've got Katie here, who's having a bit of a snooze herself, and her sister Jill up at the top here. Now these two girls...
How do you know them? How can you tell them apart?
If you do spend a lot of time with them, it is like looking at a group of people, and you do recognise their facial features very easily.
Those are as different to you as we are we are to me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah. And this stops any of this
this fella?
aggression. This is Jasper, so he's just saying, come
He's
on,
going
give me
bonkers.
some more. Because he's never usually allowed to get to the feeding chutes. It's all about hierarchy here.
This type of thing you'll be doing on Thursday. So it's just a case of just trying to learn all of the chimps.
Yeah. The public won't know, and I'll just make it up. I was worried. You could fit everything I know about chimps on the back of a tea bag and call me chimpist, but they all looked the same to me.
How long did it take for you to get to know them all?
It took me a few weeks, probably about a month in total.
Wow. What would they do if you went in there?
You would be lucky if you got out alive, I think.
Really? They just rip you to bits?
Yeah.
The glass is cracked down there.
Luckily, this is double pane bulletproof glass.
He smashed bulletproof glass.
Yeah, it's just wear and tear over
play.
time. They're so fascinating, they're wonderful.
Yeah. Oh, I thought that was one of them coming out then. I thought, oh, Christ, he's got...
So it's only Becky.
He's ignored the no exit sign and he's coming out.
Great. I had to get to know 11 bulletproof glass smashing ninja chimps in 2 days. If that wasn't enough, Pete dropped another bombshell at the sea lion enclosure.
I'd like you to watch this carefully, because tomorrow or the next day you'll be feeding and hopefully training the sea lions.
What will I be able to get a sea lion to do?
Probably balance a ball, probably to get a kiss, maybe to a handshake.
Just do the ball, I think.
Pete wanted me to work with the zoo's sofa-sized Californian sea lion, Cousteau.
A couple of mints wouldn't go amiss.
Zoe and Cousteau's well-rehearsed and choreographed display had taken years to perfect. But in 2 days, I'd be his new partner. Cousteau was a 50-stone S&M gimp with breath like a sardine's B-day and whiskers like the hairs on Peter Stringfellow's bath mat.
I can't imagine doing this at all. That's not intelligent, that's just stupid. He had the whole pool to swim and he's managed to get trapped in all 3 rings. How do you do it? There's no way I can do that. There's not a chance.
No, I think it's doable, but it is going to be difficult.
How long does it take to get that kind of relationship with them?
Probably about 2 years. They won't be completely comfortable with you, vice versa, but they will do it.
Cousteau might do it, but I'd rather have pulled my pants down in the chimp enclosure and shouted who's next at the feeding chute and get in there with him. Sensing I was bricking it about the chimp and gimp shows, Zoe gave me an idiot-proof one to start me off, the daily penguin parade.
Chimp show, there's a lot to learn. The sea lion show, there's a lot of training to learn and stuff. This, apparently, you just walk out with a bucket of fish and they follow you. So this is a gentle introduction to the public side of zookeeping.
Apparently nothing could go wrong. With a bucket of fish, I'd be the Pied Penguin Piper, and as long as I didn't look back and scare them, they'd follow me.
Okay, so if you'd like to have a look to the right-hand side of the arena, you'll start to see Rhod bringing out our lovely group of Humboldt penguins. It's okay, keep coming, they'll hopefully follow us in just a minute.
Right.
So here at this
If you don't want to become extinct altogether, you little shits, you follow me out there. There's a crowd of people out there. They've paid to see a parade, and a parade they're going to get. I know we're all tired. Come on, let's, come on.
So that's really, really good news to show that they can be successful parents back in the green as well. Guys, come on, you
Are they coming?
Don't let us down.
Are they there?
No. It looks like Rod's given up on them as well.
I'm not giving up, I'm going to get violent. There's a crowd of people there, I'm dying on my arse.
Can't knock his efforts here for trying.
Let's go there, let's go. Let's go.
You can tell
What is
them
this
just
shit?
by looking at them. But of course you do need to know your penguining too.
It's going ahead anyway.
It's going ahead anyway. You're
I'm
going to
doing it
do
on my
the
own.
parade all by yourself. You don't need any penguins, that's fine. You carry on. Rhod has done a fantastic job for us here this afternoon, trying to be a very good penguin. It's a lovely penguin impression as well.
It was the worst penguin show since my auntie fired a chocolate biscuit out of her nether regions in Newport Rugby Club. I was tempted to pick up a pissing penguin and push him off a cliff.
You left me looking a right dick up there. 50 people standing there, paid for a penguin parade. What have they got? Me wandering around with a bucket full of fish. You think that's worth $8.95? 10 years, apparently, they've been training for this. 10 years. Every day they walk out there and back.
I'd never had my confidence shattered so badly by a penguin. To rebuild it, Pete planned to pack my next day as tightly as Cousteau's Speedos.
Busy day tomorrow. I think first thing we've got to move the baby camel, knock out two horses, feed and clean the tigers, feed and clean the bears.
It's like a Rolf Harris wet dream, isn't it? I'm looking forward to getting a little bit more involved, a little bit more hands-on, a little bit more of me doing rather than me watching. I've got to learn all the chimps' names and what they look like. I don't want to be rude to chimps. I could see absolutely no discernible difference. Some of these animals look friendly, but they're actually pretty nasty. They want me to kiss Cousteau the sea lion. Not particularly looking forward to that. It's with a little bit of nerves and trepidation because it could all go horribly wrong.
My hands-on day. Zookeeper talk for shoveling shit. With my trusty safety whistle in my pocket, it was time to get more intimate with the animals.
This is the macaw mover, a.k.a. broom handle. You sit on the fence. Right, and we're off. It's bloody heavy. It's like a surreal version of Britain's Strongest Man, this is.
It should only take literally seconds to get into the horse box. Just be aware that it can kick, it can bite, possibly spit.
Jesus Christ, what a bite. Have you been bitten by one of these?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
I was honestly, I'll level with you, I was expecting a no there. I was expecting no, they don't bite. I do not like this. So what have I got? Oh, shit.
These are all muscle, they are.
Well, they are winning me round a bit, but I still think he's a dick. But I quite like him now.
Yeah.
My confidence was soaring. I'd fondled a python and stood up to the zoo's killer goat. So Pete decided I was ready to feed some more deadly animals, and we headed to the kitchens of the zoo's on-site KFC.
I'm not quite sure what those are.
There's quail.
It's quite posh quail, isn't it?
Posh quail, yeah.
I've never eaten quail. Who's having quail here?
I want to give them to the tiger.
Do you cook it or do you have it raw?
Oh, it's all raw, yeah.
It's a bit... Oh, what's that? Come out there.
Oh, that's unshelled egg.
Cooking's all about presentation. This raw bird recipe might not look great, but stick Nigella Lawson in a low-cut top next to it, and it'll look like sticky toffee pudding.
The Frosties advert would be a lot less appealing if it was showing me doing this and then a tiger going, they're great! You can see why, for kids, it just wouldn't sell.
The party bucket was for an inmate in Category 1 solitary confinement, and his name alone struck terror into all that heard it.
Bryn. Bryn. Psst. He's the most majestic thing I've ever seen. And his name's Bryn. Honestly, you might as well have called him Clive. Hang on, Bryn. Oh, my God. This is so much more impressive than when my mother feeds our cat. Whoa. Puss. Oh, Christ. Oh. That was the egg yolk bursting in my face. Do you know, normally, I really like a runny yolk.
I was about to give Bryn a good kicking when Keeper Tom brought news that the bears were having a picnic. It's a little-known fact that in the wild, bears are keen bakers, so Tom and I rustled up the bear necessities.
Before we go in, I need to lock the bears into their pits because we don't go in with the Category 1 animals.
If you're not back here in 5, I'll blow the whistle, yeah?
Yeah, well, if you hear screaming or whatever, you know.
Yeah. I've got to hide this food around their thing. Basically, in the wild, they forage for food, so I think we've got to try and replicate that in there. So I'm already thinking, where can I hide a Bakewell slice?
It's your ideas to improve the animal's life and make it as more natural as possible. You just shove them in there.
All right, yeah.
So
put a strawberry in, yeah?
Yeah, you can put strawberry in there, you can put grapes in there, you can put them on top of here if you want.
This is like having kids.
Change through there and have like stuff coming off, so it's like a bear mobile.
It's a right laugh being a bear, isn't it? So my mother used to do this with a treasure hunt in our garden. It's exactly like this. What's the date on these? Do you want a bit?
No, I'm good, thanks.
I need to hide my plums somewhere. I want the bear basically to look around for a while and then find my plums and then explode with excitement.
With my plums jammed firmly under a rock, the bears were released.
Just such beautiful, powerful creatures. Wonder which one will find my plums first. Look at that. There's 2 of them now circling my plums. They've passed them over.
I've just realised how bad all that plum stuff sounds. All I meant was I was looking forward to seeing them claw into the soft flesh of my Oh, God, sorry. Feeding plums and almond slices to bears was a picnic. My next feeding job was barely bearable. feeding live locusts to the freaky monkey people freaks.
The most revolting thing I've ever done in my life. Holding a live locust to be eaten by a freaky monkey little shit. Quick, please, take it. This, in my hand, here. Quick. Oh, somebody. You better hurry up or I'm going to throw up. You horrible little freaky monkey person. Come on. Freaky monkey person trapped in a monkey's body. Ah.
While the freaks sucked out the warm insides of their locust lollipops, I did a runner. To cheer me up, Tom had a job that he said was simples.
First off, how do you catch a meerkat?
You ever caught polecats before? Or any
Oh, yeah, I've
small
caught
mammal?
polecats, yeah.
So, you know, as you grab them round the back of their head, and then you hold the...
Never caught a polecat, Tom.
I hadn't smelt anything this bad since I borrowed Charlie Sheen's sleeping bag.
The air is dense, the air is thick with this smell of urine. It's like a sort of cat's piss jam. It's been boiled down.
It's how they mark out their territory. I mean, it's
Is
how...
it? Well,
you
their
know.
territory's safe, honestly. They can stop marking. Shall I go in?
Yeah, if you make your way in. Hey. We want to move slowly so that we don't want to cause a mass panic.
And the speed that they run and my lack of any clue of what I'm doing, it's like some kind of fairground attraction. It's like whack the rat, only catch the meerkat. Wow!
There we go.
God, look at them. Right, come on, get a couple up there, surely. Oh, yeah. Yes! Get in! Whoa!
I say it either goes right or it doesn't go right.
I'd scored an impressive 7 in Bag of Meerkat, but the next game was a shoot-'em-up.
Let's go and shoot these horses, shall we, Peter?
Right. Tranquilise.
Yeah. Am I going to shoot one?
No.
Right.
Only a fool would ask these wild Mongolian horses why they had a long face. Firstly, they were Mongolian and spoke limited English. Secondly, they faced extinction.
If you see a dart lying on the floor, don't pick it up, just leave it. Literally a drop of it into an open wound will kill a primate, and we are primates. It's quite dangerous.
So I've had quite a lot of ketamine. I haven't. We've got to get one of them down to trim his hooves, but apparently the others get a bit frisky while that's happening. This could be another panic moment for me.
Pete explained that the problem with the mountain zoo was that the animals were all on a slope. We had to shorten their legs on one side to help them stand up straight.
In terms of the conservation effort, there were how many of these left?
It was down to just a dozen or so.
Right.
Something like that, and they were all taken into various zoos and then slowly built up the numbers up until probably several thousand now. At least we've got animals in zoos so that if ever needed, and I think they probably will be, they're going to be there to go back in the wild.
These horses had been saved from extinction by zookeepers like Pete, and from falling over by leg trimmers like me.
It'd be nice to see him back on his feet. Wow. Everyone else is just blasé about this. I really wanted to clap then, and I thought, I'm like an American on a plane.
His new stumps were a success. He could gallop freely round the slopey zoo. As long as he didn't try and turn around and go back the other way, he'd be fine. I was still worried about the shows I had to do the next day. My main fear was getting up close to the massive fish-stained gimp Cousteau. So Pete took me to meet a portable travel version who'd washed up on a nearby beach.
Look how cute he is.
So this is one of the grey seals that was rescued off the North Wales coast. They can be very aggressive. Very sharp teeth full of bacteria. To restrain this, now it would probably take 2 or 3 people to do it. Honestly, you wouldn't think so, but it's really incredibly strong, very powerful.
He was no taller than a loaf of bread, but apparently if it all kicked off, this 10-inch mini-gimp could be a right flipperful. He was well enough to go home. Sweeping him into a cage, chucking him in the back of a van and driving him to a deserted beach reminded me of childhood family holidays in Wales.
We've come down to Penrhyn Bay on the North Wales coast to release this seal. And hopefully he's going to go in there. Is this what zookeeping's all about?
It's what it's partly about. This is the really nice bit, the really immediate bit. Conservation is more long-term. You might be looking at 5 years, 10 years, 50, 100 years. So this is quite nice just in the short term. This is the ultimate end. Yeah.
Brilliant. OK. Let's go and lob him in the sea then. So what are his chances of survival?
Pretty good, I reckon.
Pretty good.
Pretty good, probably about 50-50.
Is that pretty good, is it?
That is excellent, really.
Yeah, let's point him the right way. All right, Roger, you ready? Come on, Roger. How you come? Come on. Oh. Go on, Roger. Look at that.
I think people have this sort of fancy of like what wild is all about, the free, the wild, the living naturally. In fact, it's a hard, harsh, nasty, kill or be killed world out there, and this has just got to learn all of that, you know.
Talking of being killed, back at the zoo it was time to get in with Cousteau. If it took 3 people to restrain the 10-inch travel version we just released, Cousteau was a 1 sea lion army, like Chuck Norris in a PVC onesie. But if I was going to do a show with him, I had to overcome my fear of this wet-look leather Lardmobile.
There's no
Well, he
need
doesn't
to
know
be
me, does he?
nervous at all. He's really, really good. You can ask him to give him a nice wave. There you go. So I'll just feed him for that. So all you have to do is just walk up really nice and boldly and then just be like, yep, and just lean into him and he'll give you a nice big kiss. You can do it on your cheek if you don't want to
I'm
do
not
lips
kissing
just
him.
yet.
I
You're
can't.
not kissing him?
No. Has he ever bitten anyone?
I won't put you in any
I'll
danger.
throw him a fish today. It's nothing personal, honestly not personal.
Right,
Well,
do
it
you
is
want to throw a
personal.
hoop into the pool and he can go and get that and then you can feed him afterwards when he comes back to his
Cousteau, you
station?
going to go for this? Change your plan. I want you not to go through it. So avoid it, yeah? Avoid this. Avoid the ring. He's like Gollum. He's obsessed. Now I've got to get you out of that because you're stuck, aren't you?
Good luck, Cousteau. Off you go, he's
Hello.
fine. Just go in there and take it off. Just keep going.
Hello.
That's it.
Hello.
Put it off. That's it.
Oh,
Good.
my God.
Oh, oh,
Genuinely
Cousteau.
quite scary. He is a big old lump.
Scary.
Filth.
Rod and Cousteau would never be Brad and Angelina. Nobody'd ever call us Roosto. But at least I was in there with him. As long as tomorrow's show didn't involve me doing anything else whatsoever, we'd be fine.
Well done.
I had an auntie who walked like that.
I'd made some progress with Cousteau, but I still couldn't tell one chimp's arse from another one's elbow. So Pete gave me a jungle VIP pass to get to know them better.
You're going to help me with the chimp presentation. I can't remember your names. And you all look the same to me.
This is Euro.
Who's that? Who the hell is this bruiser?
That's Sixpence, who's the alpha male.
He's huge. I'm not surprised, he's enormous. All right, Sixpence. This is Groat.
That's Nickel.
Oh, Nickel.
Nickel, yeah, sorry.
Can't tell the difference. Nickel. Oh. Oh, yeah. Nickel.
So Tuppence has learned a little bit of sign language. So she can point out an empty bottle and then at the tap and then at you. So she is quite clever. The others I've never learned that. When you're looking into the eyes of a chimp, do you think there's something going on? A bit like looking into the eyes of a girlfriend.
I think that says more about you than it does about the chimp.
Where's the tap? Where's the tap, Tups? Where's the tap, Tuppence? Where's the tap? Peter, where's the tap? Where's the tap?
Peter proudly told me that not only could Tuppence order a round of drinks, but she was also an accomplished painter. I was starting to see why he'd gone out with her in the first place.
Euro, you don't even like drawing. Stop interfering with the artistic process. Euro, you're just being disruptive. OK, you can have a little bit then, Euro. There we are. You go over there and eat your paint, and we're going to do a painting over here. This is a Honda Accord, 1987, by Tuppence.
Paint wasn't really Tuppence's medium, so I gave her some felt tips and a flip chart and asked her to draw me some caricatures of her friends to help me remember them. The results were simply astonishing.
This is Mabel, who is our oldest chimp. This is Euro. He's very, very sociable. He's depicted here leaning over a wall, chatting with his neighbours. This is Tuppence, who is the only bald chimp in the group. Top chimp is Sixpence. That's how I'm going to remember him. Music booming. Last but not least, Corin is distinctive mainly in this area, because he's got massive nuts.
I was getting there slowly, but I was still anxious about the next day's shows, and that night I had nightmares. Cousteau with a leather whip, freaky monkey people sucking locust lollipops, and most scarily of all, Pete and Tuppence on the backseat of a Honda Accord. Arriving next morning, Penguin Gate still haunted me. I needed the chimps to put on a bulletproof glass-smashing show to make up for it.
I don't know anything about these chimps. I had a quick pep talk with tuppence and euro and sixpence and stuff earlier, but I got no idea. I don't recognise any of them. Maybe get them to ask questions. That's a good technique, I think. Or get them to tell me what they know about chimps. That's the one. Hello. You all right? Why don't you tell me what you know about chimps, and then I can tell you the rest. They eat fruit. They do eat fruit. Well done. Good. They do eat fruit, don't they? Has anybody got any questions about chimps? You've probably got so many you can't think of any off the top of your head. Is that what it is?
I couldn't have asked for more. The chimps put on a blinding acrobatic display, and the crowd lapped it up.
Well, it's a hell of a show today, isn't it? I failed to engage the public and the chimps. Do you know what I was looking at? That was so awkward. That was a bloody... That and the penguins. Today's turning into a nightmare.
Like a vicar hurriedly trying to hide a blow-up doll, the penguins and chimps had let me down badly. I headed to my final show, and my last chance of dignity in the flippers of a critically obese French sea lion.
If he lets me down today, I don't care who's watching, I will beat him to within an inch of his fat life.
You touch my sea lion. You're going in that pool. I'm much scarier than Cousteau.
You're not.
An expectant crowd had gathered, and we had to pull this off. Cousteau and I had rehearsed. It was time to deliver. Welcome to Strictly Come Gimping.
Baby, you're so tasty, I don't really want to waste it. Baby, let's
don't let me down now, Cousteau.
I love it when you shake that. So put your back into it and let your mind go. You got it.
Doing all right. Cousteau is doing all right.
Oh, wow. I know you want to go crazy. I know you want to go wild. I know you want to go crazy. So jump up on it.
I think he really likes you, Rhod.
Feelings neutral. Good boy.
A new showbiz partnership had been born. Roosto.
Well done, that was really good.
That was all right, you did all right.
Yeah,
you did all right.
you both did really well.
But how do you think I got on?
To be honest, I think it was all right.
In the circumstances, average.
No, in the circumstances, I would say above average.
This zoo, really, the keepers feel like a family. But the animals are included. The animals, it's one big family.
Well, the best one in the world, if you work in Tesco's, you don't get passionate over a tin of beans or a packet of cornflakes. Yeah. But here, everyone's passionate about their own little bit.
If it all doesn't work out for me in stand-up comedy, then I might be back.
Yes,
to ask you for a job.
Email me.
I will. All right, no phone calls.
No phone calls.
The last 3 days has just been amazing. I think it's an amazing job. Look at that, it's just great, isn't it? What a way to finish. It's been fun, fascinating, informative. It's been a massive privilege to get this close to animals that I never thought I would get close to at all. I feel like I know a lot more about the sort of conservation angle. And for these guys here, the zookeepers here at least, that is a huge factor in what motivates them. Peter and the rest of the zookeepers here have done a fairly good job of convincing me zoos are a really important part of the conservation jigsaw, part of a bigger picture that contributes to ensuring that some of the most endangered animals on this planet will survive for generations to come.